You're tuned in to Talon. 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 Talon it like it is. I'm in the studio today with a very exciting guest, someone who's very neat and interesting to me. And this is another comedian, and that is becoming a thing on this show, but I think people are really enjoying it. I know I'm one of the people who's enjoying it, and I think, the American people are too, and I've gotten your tweets. Don't think I don't read them. I know you love it. So I have a comedian on here, and this is actually an interesting thing where I went to the bar just to get a drink, and I'm sitting at the bar drinking a whiskey, and all of a sudden there's people setting up a microphone and doing comedy in a bar, which to me, I'm thinking, this is a place where people serve beer, not a place where people do comedy shows. That's at a comedy club or a theater. And so I'm so confused. And then these people come up, and a lot of them are talking about things that their bodies look like that are gross and how they're very sad people. And then they started cursing. So I asked the bartender for some earplugs, which they didn't have, so I stuck lemons in my ears, and I wasn't listening. I was just drinking my whiskey, minding my own dang business. But out of the corner of my eye, out of my peripherals, I'm seeing all these colors, and whoosh, you know me with colors when I see them. And I look, and there's this woman on the stage wearing the floweriest of jackets, and I was, I don't know if I was part B somewhere along the line, but I gotta tell you, my hand had snapped right over, and of course I didn't want to take the plugs out because she seemed like she might be cursing. She had a kind of edgy attitude, so I didn't want to risk it. But I did talk to her afterwards, and it was fascinating. So I thought you would be fascinated too. So I had her in the studio. So I want to introduce today. I'm in here with no, wait, sorry, just give me a moment. I'm reading it. KHADIJA.
It's KHADIJA.
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 Oh, hey, you only need to tell me again once. So, welcome you to the studio. I'm so glad you could come in.
Did you refer to me as pretty much a colored woman?
Oh, jeez. This is one of those, I guess you could say, gaffe or a faux pas if you wanted to be jaunty, which sometimes people do, and I respect that, right?
Or just racist. Who knows?
Oh, now, come on. I know that's in jest. I know you don't mean it, but some people get sensitive about that kind of thing. They don't realize when people are committing to a satirical bit where they're saying one thing that they don't really mean, which is what I presume you're doing. But no, and this is the radio, so no one knows yet why this is funny, this joke that you're doing. But KHADIJA is a person of blackness.
That's
I believe.
A color. That's a color, yeah, for sure. I'm a person of color. It's true.
See, but here's the thing, and you can identify any way you please, but I've heard from science and also from art class that black isn't really a color. It's the absence of color.
Oh, no, you're right.
And so aren't albinos the only real black people?
Well, the thing about albinos is that that just because of the fact that they're not actually black, it makes them not black. You see what I mean? Like there are albinos that are black, and so like that's fair.
Well, yes,
because they have no
color, which is the definition of black. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
But okay, so I don't feel like it's fair to albino people to say that they're just black, because there are plenty of albino people that are not only black, first of all.
Well, I know I was just going kind of by the dictionary definition. I'm not talking about necessarily their race. I'm just talking purely from a color science perspective. We're saying black is no color. Mm-hmm. So if you're a person of color, then that means an albino person is really black because they don't have any color.
Wow.
And that's just, I didn't, and I gotta tell you what, the page that I read about black did not have a picture to go along with it. It was just the definition. So that's all I'm going by. So if somebody wants to change my opinion about what black does or does not look like, I'm just going off the text.
I will say this, that black people don't care whether or not you think they're black. So whether or not you think an albino person is black doesn't really matter, but from a scientific point of view, because I do respect science.
And there's things about it to respect, I suppose.
I will say that the genetic disorder that causes people to be albino does not change the fact that
I don't really think of it as
still
a disorder. I think of it as a different order. I think it's a little bit judgmental, which I don't know if I was expecting from you, but you know, you can. If you want to correct it in the future, that's up to you. But that's. But continue your thought. Yes.
Yeah. No. I didn't. Yeah. I will say that. You know, I can't speak for albino people, which I guess is really the first and foremost thing. But what I do know about albino people is that regardless of skin color, there is the idea of cultural blackness, growing up black, and also the fact that they are albino, which is very different from being white, very different from being black. Not to bring any kind of context outside of that to that. It's just that when you grow up in an all-black family and you're born albino, like, there are different issues that come up with that aren't necessarily black or white.
Well, that's a very interesting take. What I'll say is that you said, of course, that you can't speak for albinos, and I have to say I might have tuned out just a tad. Because really, that's not how you lead it off, and I think a comedian would know how to structure it a little bit better. But I'm not here to criticize you in any way. You're a guest in my studio, but I think I can speak for albino.
Why?
Because I speak for the American people, and I would speak for people equally. So I'm not going to say I can't speak for this group or I can't speak for that group, because I speak for the American people, and the people are calling out.
Are they? Where? I didn't hear a phone ring. I didn't hear anyone beckoning in the sky. There's no bat signal waiting for the white man to tell everyone.
Well, there is a bat signal. I mean, obviously you can't see it from here because we're inside, but it does exist. I mean, you don't want to sound foolish. This radio show is heard by a lot of people. But the people call out, and they do it in a lot of ways. I'm getting emails. I'm getting a tweet. I'm getting so much different...
Just one tweet?
People,
just one?
Well, one. Multiple. I've looked... I don't know if you look at it twice. Is it tweet again? Is that another tweet? Is it to tweet every time that you take it in? Is it tweet a verb? Yeah, you tweet. So when I look at it and I tweet, so I've tweeted it so many times.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And it's really great. But people, they come up to me all the time, everywhere I am, and they're saying, Talon, keep it up. Keep speaking for us.
That one tweet, just over and over again.
Oh,
just
no.
keep saying that.
I'm a person who likes to live in the real world. You know, I do the Twittering because all the specialists tell me that that's how you reach out to the millennials, and you need to get them hooked now before they acquire value and become really, because it's the philosophy, you want to get them young.
Wait, what?
You want to.
Who are you trying to get young, and why are you trying to get them when they're young?
Fans. You want to get fans when they're young, because if you look at people are fans of Mickey Mouse, and you're saying this mouse is walking around on 2 feet and wearing gloves because he probably strangles people, but kids don't even care because they learned about it when they were young.
When did you think that Mickey Mouse would strangle someone? Like when did that cross your mind?
Okay, and here's the thing. You're acting shocked.
I am shocked.
You're acting shocked. Now, Exactly. Now, here's the thing. If I walked around knowing that everybody would be shocked to find out that I strangled someone,
Yeah.
I'd probably start doing it. I mean, not me specifically, but I'm saying I'm putting myself in the mind of a mouse. So I'm saying, okay.
So you're saying if you project yourself onto the mouse and you assume that he's going to strangle people with his big white gloves, then he just is.
Well, no, you think about it because you would never suspect him. So isn't he the perfect criminal?
That's exactly how people feel about every black person walking around, is that aren't they a criminal because I suspect they are?
No. I'm saying, I don't think everyone thinks that. I think that there are a lot of Americans who don't think that any particular group or any race of people are more criminal. Obviously, poors are prone to criminality, but I think that exists across all. Okay. Well, you want more money. If you're poor, you want more money. Where are you going to get it?
Are you? Oh, wow.
By
so
doing
you
crimes.
think that poor people, regardless of anything, regardless of their own humanity, will inherently want to steal and be criminals?
Well, yes, because what you need to do is okay. Now you look at this, and I may not making a judgment call. You look at John Fitzgerald Kennedy. He became a president of the United States. Mm-hmm. Because his father made all of the money selling alcohol when it was not allowed. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know this, but there was a time in America where they said, none of that. And I don't know why. I guess they thought that people would be happier.
I just feel like it doesn't equate. It's like, if that's really the issue, then why not just make sure that people aren't poor so there is no crime? Why not solve the core issue of poverty?
Yes, but you can't make a choice for someone, unless, there's certain examples, obviously, and I think we all know exactly what I'm talking about, and we don't need to go into it, where you can make choices for other people. But I don't think that
let's go into examples.
I
like the example. When can you make a decision for other people? When is that okay?
Well, for instance, if you're getting married, you get to pick what all your bridesmaids and groomsmen wear, and they don't get to
want to.
And, well, if you don't want to, then you're choosing to not want to, but it's your choice because it's your day, baby. And there's times like that where, so, if you're picking your bridesmaids or your groomsmaids, or for instance, if you have someone to paint your house, you're allowed to tell them what color they have to paint it.
Yeah, but those are all very inanimate things in a way. A house, a party. Those aren't actually people. They're not but the people who are doing the things to them are the ones that you get to tell what to do. Yes, but those are still conscious beings who have lives and families and an entire existence that you shouldn't have control over.
Maybe not some of them. Some people don't have families, and I think that's very sad, but they don't deserve to be left out of the conversation.
Yeah, that's fair too, but I don't think family necessarily means
a lot of orphans listen to this show, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're getting kind of thrown under the bus.
What is this bus that everyone keeps talking about? That is a RuPaul quote, by the way. That I didn't say that first, but I like that quote.
RuPaul, I'm not sure I'm familiar.
RuPaul is a drag queen. She
the race car driving.
No. No, she is a drag queen. So there's drag. It's like an emulation of the female identity, but it's kind of played up, so it's very theatrical. Men dress up as women in many ways.
So men are going out and they're going up on stage and they're saying, "Just I be shopping."
No.
You know what I mean? Kind of skipping. Instead of talking about the women, you becoming the women to show people really what you're talking about.
You think that all women have to say is, "I be shopping"?
Well, no, it wouldn't be funny if a woman said it. I mean, come on. I mean,
so you
then
don't
it's
even-
just a woman telling me she's shopping. I'm like, news to no one. So, you know, what I'm really trying to say is it's funny because if it was a man, but he's saying that he's shopping like a woman, then you're saying, so I get it. I think drag might actually, I think I might be really into it.
I think you might be really into it, but for the wrong reasons. Because women, I don't know if you've heard this lately, but women do a lot of things.
I have
outside
heard
of
that.
shopping.
I have heard that.
And men also shop. It's kind of a crazy world we live in.
Oh, no,
where
no,
everyone
no,
does
no.
everything.
Oh, yes, men shop. I know that. But the thing is that when we shop, it's for the things that we want. But then women are going to the store and they're buying things that I don't want. And I think it's pretty silly to go to the store and buy something that I wouldn't even like or want.
Why
Don't
do you think that women go to the store and buy things they don't even want? What do you think women are buying?
Oh, no, I'm sure they like them and want them, but I don't. And it just seems like a waste of time to go to for me, when I think about doing it, I think about if I was going to the store and buy makeup when I don't even wear it, it seems like such a waste of time.
But there's many things to shop for outside of makeup. Like you're wearing a shirt, you're wearing a sweater, you're wearing pants, you're wearing shoes.
I am though. All
Those
my
are all-
clothing that's all sponsored. People want they want me to be seen wearing their items. So
What are you wearing
And
today?
I will go on the record and say that I do genuinely adore it all. This isn't just I'm not some kind of shill. I'd be wearing this anyway. But the fact that they just give it to me and it fits so nice and I never have
Yeah.
to pick it out and I never have to go shopping.
I will say that as a woman, if anyone were to send me things that were nice and fit well and that I didn't have to go shopping for, then I wouldn't go shopping for clothes either. But you're a human being who has many needs, just like all human beings that have many needs and want to be able to achieve them. And also, what's so bad about shopping? What has scarred you around shopping?
I know. I mean, trust me. I mean, shopping is what keeps this country moving. You look at Walmart's the biggest employer in this country. They're keeping this baby afloat. Don't get me wrong. I was referencing, and I thought maybe you would understand it because of stand-up comedy, is that one of the very best jokes in stand-up comedy is about the joke of the idea is that women are shopping. And when I heard it, I forget who said it, but I heard it on a TV special, and he came out and he said, women are shopping. And I had to turn it off. I was crying through laughter.
I had to turn it off too. I had to turn it off for really different reasons because that kind of joke and that kind of mentality towards women isolates us and pigeonholes us into an idea that women are just this archetype and this atypical 1950s like Americana idea of what a woman is, and women are just as complex and different and like wanting of many different things as men. And
and you could do jokes about that too.
all gender spectrums.
You know,
P.S.
Yes, you could, but I mean, you could do any kind of jokes about women, but this guy, it was so funny because he was holding the microphone in this very confident way, and he was kind of pacing back and forth on the stage, and it kind of reminded me of when you're getting hypnotized by a watch,
Oh,
and
wow.
he was kind of pacing back and forth on the stage, and he was very energetic. And
Was he saying things like, ladies,
He did.
gentlemen, you know what I'm saying, guys? Come on, guys.
Have you seen this guy?
I've seen this guy. I have seen this guy.
And that's what I think. Don't
seen
you
him.
agree as a stand-up comedian that it's so much more just about the pure presentation than really the content of your ideas?
Absolutely not. Why would you think that the presentation, that's like saying like a shitty science project is better because they've got a trifold instead of a poster.
Oh,
it doesn't make it better.
I would vote for
What?
that at a science
No,
fair
that's
if I weren't
absurd.
boycotting all science fairs. But
Maybe that wasn't the best example, but I think that it speaks the same. Why do you want something placid when you could have something really intricate and complex.
Well, if you're thinking about it this way, and this is, I mean, I know I'm not a stand-up comedy specialist. I've been learning a lot more about it, but as someone who's been kind of a public figure for a long time, talking to an up-and-comer, to give you your little voice, is it you want to kind of find your own voice, and you want to find what really matters to you, and then you want to kind of learn to set that aside and find out what the people want to hear. And then you do that for a while with the comedy, and then before you know, because what you have to do is you sell out, you make enough to buy it, and then you own it, and then you can say whatever you want. I could say whatever I want on here. I could swear. I'm not going to. I could tell government secrets on here, but I'm not.
But then again, like, I could do the same thing. I could have my own network. I could do the things that I want to do without having to sell out. I could have a really great crowd and a really great set without having to do the average Joe.
But then where is all the money coming from?
The money's going to come from, like, I mean, every comedian has different wants and they have different things that they want to do.
Well, I know in comedy it's very easy to make a lot of money if you put your mind to it.
Who told you that? Did your teacher tell you that?
Well, you think about it. I mean, I know so many of the great comics. Russell Peters, I know.
Oh, my God.
He flies his own private jet everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the kind of, I'm sure that's in the cards for you in the near future.
You know, if I'm so lucky.
You're looking at Jeremy Seinfeld?
Uh-huh.
That guy, he had a hit TV show, and
he didn't write any of that material.
Well, but he cashed the checks. I mean, that's the important part. You know, it doesn't matter what you're writing. It matters who's writing on that line at the bottom of the check. And those ones were clearing. He owns everything. You know, so that's what I think of. Okay, so comedy. It can't really make you feel good to be doing comedy. It's more of a way to get to money.
Good comedy makes you feel good. I mean, no fucking way. As a way to make money, if I wanted to make money, honestly, what I would do is I would strip. If I was a smart woman, I would strip. But like, I'm also like, no, don't bite that. Don't bite that. I'm not gonna strip.
Oh, no. Actually, I'm not, and I think people have the right to do what they want to do, but I was going to advise you not to, because you should wait until you make a covenant with one man before anyone is seeing that stuff. And this is, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just telling you what you should do. And so, and hey, take it from me. My life is great. My wife and I couldn't be better. 3 children. Darling little dewdrops on the lawn of my life.
So happy for you, dewdrops.
And if this would have happened, if I would have been out, having partners and kissing people and revealing that level of flesh, I don't think I'd have the life that I have now. I mean, it wouldn't be possible. So
really, not at all. Not even a little bit. Not even just like 2 years of stripping and then just move on with your life.
Oh no! And don't think I didn't get offers in my early years, because I'm reaching I'm a man of a certain age. But in my younger years, I don't know if you go on the Google, but if you look up pictures, I was not too hard on the eyes once upon a time.
I think you should have done it. I think you should have gone for it. Honestly, you would have had way more money. And
I do like money.
It would have been your thing. Like, if you had stripped, you would have been, I mean, I'm talking about $500 a day.
I know, but then the whole thing, you think about it this way. Now, this is why, this is what I'm talking about. You don't want to go for these short-term goals, KHADIJA. You want to...
It's pronounced KHADIJA.
KHADIJA.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm so sorry. We can edit that out. You don't want to go for these short-term goals, because let's say I would have done the stripping. Now, I'm going out there. I'm putting on something by GNR, you know, something really cooking. Welcome to the Jungle, maybe, with like a jungle print themed outfit, and I'm kind of like a wildcat, and it's very sensual, and people would come from miles to see it, and people would try to buy me boats and everything. But then, you think about it this way. Suddenly, I have a reputation for taking my clothes off.
So
now, are these excellent clothing brands going to be giving me all my clothes for the rest of my life like they are now? No, because you don't want to be giving clothes to the person who's just going to be taking them off. You want to be giving clothes to the person who's wearing them.
You want to be giving clothes to the most people that are going to be seeing your clothes. And if you're good enough, people will be seeing your clothes.
Well, no, because if I would have gone into the stripping, I would have been very thematic about it. I wouldn't have just been wearing some regular outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be very kind of costumey and like an Andrew Lloyd Webber feel, but you know, with a more of a rawness to it, less sanitary. But I wouldn't do that, and that I find that all uncouth. I'm talking about it. But you know, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be right, and that's the right way to do it.
Okay, is that the right way to do it?
Well, I think so, but I'm not the expert on stripping. I've never really thought about it before. Clearly, you have whatever's going on in your mind.
So, Talon, I've noticed that for a comedian, KHADIJA finds your serious topics quite hilarious. How can you make sense of that?
I do.
Well, it's one of those things, and this is why I'm talking about with comedy being very about delivery, is that I found that people enjoy laughing, and they feel better when they're laughing. But I think humor is so often wicked and or tricking. So I've developed kind of ways to just wiggle my eyebrows and move my face in a way that elicits the same response without having to subvert anything or kind of bring up these, you know, kind of defying expectations and doing these things that nobody has any really desire for.
You just never assume that I just have a really great sense of humor.
Oh, and I'm sure you do. That's why, and I wanted to bring this up. This is a bit of a plug. KHADIJA is going to be performing in a comedy and music festival. And I think that's so exciting because festivals are very fun. I think that's built into it. And so I imagine they're going to have tents where there's comedies and tents where there's music, and then they'll have the games with the where you throw a cup and try to win a goldfish and all those things. But you're doing the comedy festival.
You just described a fair.
You're doing the Bumbershoot State Seattle Fair show.
That's a festival. It's close.
Yes. So but festival, carnival, they all are really the same. They're calling it a festival.
It's a festival because it is a festival. There are no goldfish. There will be families.
Are you sure? And now, do people are showing up to this?
Yes, lots of people show up every year.
That's what I hear. And so this year, when there's no goldfish this time, are they going to be upset?
There was never a goldfish, so no one's expecting that.
Wow. So your companies must be really good if people are coming down there without even having the chance to win a goldfish or a big glass bottle soda pop.
No soda, yeah.
So so you're doing the comedy at this show, and it's called Bumbershoot. Mm-hmm. Now Bumbershoot is a name for an umbrella. Is what my research has indicated. Now it's an umbrella. Nobody in Seattle is using an umbrella. So why is the show in Seattle called the Umbrella Show when nobody's using the umbrella?
It's not called the Umbrella Show. It's called Bumbershoot.
Well, we translate. I mean, your mind is naturally going to hear Bumbershoot. I mean, if you hear, you know, you just hear it and you translate it. If you hear Monsieur, obviously you think dude, you know.
Well, when I hear Talon, I just hear Talon. I don't hear
Don't you sometimes hear the
eagle's
screech?
nail.
You don't hear it?
No. I just hear, I mean, like, maybe as an afterthought, but not necessarily as the forethought.
Oh, no, my mind is moving like an electric hurricane of thoughts, and there's so much in there. And I understand that not everyone is that way.
Yeah.
And maybe that helps you to focus more, to kind of be able to take things and make them funny. Because I think sometimes when I'm seeing these stand-up comedies, it's people who are being very confused. They're saying, I don't get why this is this way. And they're asking these questions. And it's, and so as someone who comes on here with answers, I don't know if people would ever find any of this funny because I'm not kind of acting a fool the way you have to when you do what you do.
You think I'm a fool. That's hilarious.
No. I was saying acting a fool.
Getting
So
rowdy. Getting maybe a little too wild for your talons. You see that? It's me acting a fool.
Okay, that's maybe a different kind of fool, but I like it. You're making it complex. You're adding layers, and that's something that I'm coming to accept things have. So you're doing the bumper shoot.
It's true. I'm doing the bumper shoot. It's gonna be fun. Ron Funches is featuring. Amy Miller is doing.
His name has fun in it.
Hey, he's a fun guy.
Yeah, there's at least fun isn't his middle name, but it's the middle of his name. I think that's close enough.
Oh my God, pretty much. I love that guy. He's so funny.
Yes, I've heard of him. People were saying you just mentioned that he was going to be on Bumbershoot.
Yeah, he's the headliner.
I like him already. And so that's very fun. So you're doing the comedy, and then you're going to go up there, and you're going to say, "I will presumably knock knock." No.
No one does. I mean, unless you're like doing this really, I guess maybe like interesting piece on knock knock jokes.
Well, you said there's going to be families there, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to do your G-rated material.
No.
Presumably not the stuff that you were doing in the bar.
No, I'm going to do the stuff I do in the bar.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. They crack down on people for that stuff because when kids are hearing those things, is it, okay, you need to teach the kids the importance of swearing for dominance. But then when you muddle it up with humor, suddenly kids are confused about the way you want to be using your swearing. So it's important that we don't let kids think that those F words and B words and all those things are funny, because then it takes some of the hate out of them. And that's what those words are so useful for, is conveying hate. So when Dick Cheney stood on the Senate floor and he said, "Go F word yourself." Now, if he would have been spending the whole day saying, "Oh, go F word yourself," making jokes about it, do you think that senator would have had that trickle running down his leg with the terror of a true angry swear?
Yeah, because what you're not talking about, but what you are talking about is the regulation of inflection. It's not about the words themselves. It's about how you inflect the words and what they mean. That's why.
Oh, I'm glad you say that, because people are always saying that there's certain words I shouldn't be saying, and I'm always saying, I don't think so, right? And so I'm glad to have that come from you, confirmed that I should say whatever word
I was talking about swear words, not all words. I was talking about swear words, because, there's a difference
because my wife doesn't like it when I say moist, and so
that is a gross word.
I should be able to say it, though,
It's a gross. I mean, I'm not going to get between you and your wife.
Even if I'm talking about the dew and comparing it to my children.
How does that happen? How do you compare the dew to your children?
Well, the little dewdrops in the the lawn of my life. I think I mentioned that.
Oh,
the dawn of the day of my life. Because the sun didn't rise until those little beams of sunshine came into my life. Because sometimes I think that I was walking around in the nighttime, when I was so lost and afraid. And then suddenly these kids come out, and I'm so afraid for completely different reasons. But it's daytime now. Do you ever feel that way?
I don't have kids, so no.
Oh,
no,
you need
not at all.
That's good for comedy. Now, a lot of the funniest people that do the comedy have the kids. So, because you think about it this way, kids are naturally funny. Right. So
Yeah.
here's a little trick for you. Is you could, okay, think about it this way. If you spent 9 months trying to write all this really good material, you might come up with some good stuff, and you might not. But if you spent 9 months making a baby, the baby's definitely going to be funny, and then you can just talk about that, and you know you weren't wasting your time. So it's kind of a shortcut to being good at comedy that I think you could use if you ever get frustrated with the writer's block and all that nonsense.
I'd rather just like write about abortion. Like, you know what I mean? Like just write some abortion jokes.
Oh,
That's prime material. Everyone gets
You're not going to be
uncomfortable.
talking
It's
about that with
hilarious.
the kids, right?
No, anyone who's there. I mean, if you bring your kid to a comedy show, you know what you're getting yourself into. That's what I think.
Well, I think if it's a family festival named the Umbrella Show, and I think my
Bubba
kids
Shoot.
can go there, and that it's going to be a good rated, fun time, and I see a woman wearing
It's all rated. All rated.
a fun flower jacket, I'm thinking, and just like I did, ooh, I want to see what's going on here. And then suddenly my kids are going in, and it's, okay, with, you know.
My flower jacket has nothing to do with my material. My appearance has very little to do with my material. I mean, it does in the sense of like I'm a black woman and I write from that perspective, but my material is very much so, regardless of anything else, going to be just honest, I hope. Honest and funny.
Honest in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's strange because, well, last time I had a comedy expert on, he was talking all about how comedy is about saying things that aren't what it is. So you're saying you're doing a comedy where you say it is what it is.
Well, it is what it is, exaggerated. So, like, I think that it's like, it is
So
what
if
it is
you-
extrapolated from
so,
what it is.
If, for instance, if I was doing comedy, I might say, I'm the smartest man ever in history. But it's an exaggeration because I'm actually only that of smartest person alive.
That doesn't necessarily make it comedy just because you said that.
But then I'm exaggerating it in a way. And, you know, you comedy people come on here and you act like there's some kind of rules and you tell me about them and I follow them. And then you're still telling me I'm not doing comedy. And you know, I'm not going to lie. I have already booked a special and I've spent most of the deposit and I need to go good at comedy fast.
Whoa.
So I need you to give me a tip because if that's not comedy, then it's not working.
Yeah.
So what should my opener be?
Well, I mean, I am getting to know you now, and I will say that definitely don't take from anything you're taking from right now.
Oh, okay. So I'm coming out, and I'm pretending like I already know the audience, and I'm saying to them, I'm getting to know you now, and my advice would be to not take anything from what you've been talking about. And then the whole audience is going, what? I don't even know what's up and down. It's because you're kind of going for like a random kind of humor where they're like, what is dude even talking about? You know? And that's kind of a cool brand that I wouldn't normally think of because I'm such a great thinker that I figured I'd probably kind of been like if George Carlin wouldn't have lost his mind to drugs, you know, kind of out there like straight shooting and telling it how it is without having my brain crooked and wacked, you know.
What are you talking about?
Well, George Carlin, have you heard of him?
Yeah.
He's the conductor on Shinytown Station, is where most people know him from. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, no,
so,
definitely.
but he also dabbled in stand-up comedy. And his stand-up comedy, he kind of had this thing where he was saying, I'm saying it like it is. But he just didn't know how it was. So it was kind of sounded
What leads
stupid.
you to believe that he didn't know what it was like?
Oh, because he was using all the F words, and he said mean things about Rush Limbaugh, who really didn't deserve it. And he was,
Why don't you think Rush Limbaugh deserves any negative feedback?
hey, and you as a comic, you should know that if you can do 3 hours a day, I mean,
Time does not equate quality.
quality time. And we've had it. And we've had some quality time, and we're out of it.
Oh,
And that's, I know.
now.
But until next time, I want to give you the very last word.
Well, my favorite word is spoon.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at TalonItLikeItIs. For new content and updates, visit boiledsprat.com/TalonItLikeItIs. See you next week.